Hello everybody and welcome to your Season 9 Atlas Support Guide. We're going to be grabbing ourselves a good old-fashioned benevolence, going to be taking a gander at their composition. They are running double magical, triple physical, so pretty regular comp over there. I'm going to be taking myself into a Thebes this game because Atlas has pretty good early game clear, and we should be able to win the lane with me and Hachi against them, and we shouldn't have to worry too much about those Thebes stacks and getting it online early enough in order to make it relevant. And then against this composition, it looks like I'm going to end up getting a magic shell as well in order to upgrade it into that fortifying shell later. And we're going to be starting off with our kinetic charge because this is going to be our best ability at level 1 for the clear. It didn't actually originally do damage to the minions, but they had since changed Atlas with a series of buffs, and so now kinetic charge does. And if you want to give our YouTube videos a little bit of a kinetic charge on them, then make sure you go ahead and like and comment on the video, and make sure you're subscribed and ring that bell so you never miss a notification of another guide that comes out, and I appreciate that. So when we go over to this lane, I'm going to be dashing right on through this wave, trying to get as much clear as I can. I'm gonna buff everybody's movement speed up, bam! And we're gonna dash right on through it very aggressively. If somebody gets in front of you, that can kind of interrupt your clear, but if ain't nobody getting in front of you, then you're off to the races right there. And then we're gonna grab our 1 second, and this is also going to be the ability that we max out first. Atlas is a all game support. He's good in the early game. He is good in the mid game. He's good in the late game. He is good all game long. Really doesn't have a weak portion of the game. Lane clear wise, he's pretty dang strong. Late game team fights, he's good in because of his ultimate. So he just got a strong overall pick. You'll actually see Atlas one of the most, if not the most, banned support probably right now. Gonna just dash myself away from some of this nonsense. Looks like my Hachi might have actually gone a little bit aggressive back into them, but that's all right. We should be able to get him out without too many problems. Hachi, on the other hand, not a very good early game god, comparably to the Chiron, just in the damage department, so we're gonna have to be a little bit careful here in the laning phase. For our level order on Atlas, we are gonna level up that ultimate whenever we can. It does actually get some pretty solid damage on it. The numbers may look smaller, but believe me, those Atlas damage numbers, especially if they're CC'd inside of it, get to add up really quick. And at level 3, we're gonna grab our 2. Now, if I grab the Ganesh, the Chiron can actually cleanse him, and that's gonna make my life a little bit awkward. So I'm going to try to grab the Chiron, but if I grab the Chiron, my life is also going to be made awkward because the Ganesh is going to be able to silence me out of it. So basically, I'm not going to be able to grab really anybody in this lane as long as they are kind of by each other. Good rotation though from the Thor. I'm going to start dashing, give us a movement speed buff. See if I can't pick up this Ganesh. Nope, he's going to silence me right on out of it. Didn't even need the cleanse over there from his fellow Chiron. After our ultimate, whenever it is up, we're going to be maxing out our 1. Max out our 1 for a couple of reasons. 1, it lowers the cooldown on this ability by 1 second every single time that you put a point into it, and it also increases the damage as well as the slow for throwing it out. So you get a lot of benefits on that one. Quick note about Atlas's 3, because this seems to be the ability that I think the most people misunderstand. It used to be, when Atlas was first released, that you had to have a debuff taken off from the 3 in order to get the bonus movement speed. That is how it works. That's how it worked. But nowadays, as long as your teammates are in that radius of that circle, they're gonna get that giant movement speed buff. So Atlas 3, on top of being a generally good movement ability for himself, is also a team-wide heavenly agility for all intents and purposes. You can actually see the effect on my Hachi when I am by him. Now I'm gonna go ahead and back it up. Start to work on that thieves a little bit, and I am out of mana, and then I can continue to run it down the middle lane. Also on your 2, you're gonna see 2 different targeters here on the cone. As long as they are in the cone overall, you're gonna yoink them to you. But if you were in that smaller cone duration, then that is when Atlas picks you up and puts you on timeout, carries you above his head, and then yoinks you in whatever direction he sees fit after just a moment. For the most part, individually in the early game, we're going to be using the 2 by itself, picking up one god that's kind of out of position, doesn't have their beads up, etc., and putting the pressure on them that way. Later on in the game, we might throw out, particularly in the team fights, we might throw out the 1 and then the 2 combo, and that is when you get the giant. That is when you get the giant AoE grab on everybody and they all get sucked towards the middle. That in the early game, not quite as relevant because you're typically only fighting like 1 or 2 people at a time. But at the end of the game, when it's a giant team fight and everybody's kind of fighting everybody, that is when it gets a lot more interesting. You can also, of course, press your 1 again in order to cancel it a little bit early if you want to bring that orb back so you can stop doing that pulsating auto. The pulsating auto really not that important. It can just help a little bit with your lane clear. But on the whole, your auto attacks just regularly as Atlas gonna hit way, way, way harder. So your ultimate in terms of team fights is gonna be the main ability that you really need to try to use proper. It's what allows Atlas to be a game changer. Gonna pick up this Oleron actually if he's not careful. He is not being super careful, so I'm gonna yoink him right on back. I'm gonna throw down the ulti. I'm gonna start channeling, walking over to him, throw down the shell. It doesn't look like that's actually gonna matter. I am so slow. Looks like the jungle was also there, so they actually had 3 people in the mid lane. Unfortunate right there, kind of bad timing for us that our Thor happened to be ganking the duo lane at the exact same time that we got the triple rotation over in the mid lane. But the ulti is going to be your bread and butter here on Atlas. It's going to reduce enemy protections by a percentage, and it is also going to reduce their power by a percentage. And this is going to stack from 5 to 7 times. 5 to 7 times. If you hit them with the second part of the beam, when you click it again and it launches out, it'll actually put on 3 stacks immediately. So like early game, if I had 2 stacks and then launched it out, that would actually put the 5 stacks total on. Also, as far as the Atlas UI is concerned, if you see this giant chargy ball right here, that means that your next auto attack is gonna be that big AoE, and that big AoE auto also trembles. So a lot of crowd control in Atlas's kit. A lot of debuffs, a lot of crowd control, a lot of CC, all sorts of good stuff that you want in your support. Now, I gotta be a little careful here because I don't actually want to clear the wave. I'm just trying to sit back and get my theme stacks online. But our lane clear in the mid lane is pretty lackluster with the Oleron. I don't highly recommend playing the Oleron right now. So let's talk about combos. Atlas is a premier set-up god. He loves to help his team get ready for a fight. He loves getting in there, slowing people down, picking them up, launching them right to you, which means you want to have a big damage follow-up for Atlas. You want big wombo combo damage, easy to hit, low cooldown. We're talking Medusa ADC. We're talking Anhur in lane. We're talking Cherry, Izanamiel, anybody that can follow up with a big ol' whammy kablammy. Mid lane, we got Rods and Poseidons and Scyllas and Agnes and all sorts of giant big damage characters, because they will launch them right over to you, and he will give you the easiest setup of your life if you will let him. So our composition this game for an Atlas is really lackluster, I would say. We actually don't have any follow-up wombo combo damage. We've kind of got a lot of just general overtime consistent DPS, which is not going to get very good utilization out of Atlas's setup capabilities.
None can flee my destruction.
So we got some wasted potential on that front. As far as gods that Atlas struggles to go against, you're looking out for quick interrupts. Quick interrupts is kind of what messes you on Atlas. The reason why quick interrupts mess you up is because everything that you do in Atlas takes a little bit of time. He does everything just a little bit slower. Anything worth saying is worth taking a long time to say it. His 2 takes a while to go off. His 3, while a good dash, takes a while in order to get the full duration out of it. So if you've got Ganesh Silent, if you've got Apollo Mez, anything like that, a quick CC that you can just pop out, get on him really fast, that tends to be the most annoying thing for Atlas, because it stops him from being able to use his abilities quickly and shuts down a lot of his efficacy. Now I do have to be careful here in the mid lane, because they've got the ability to hit us with a lot of damage right now. Trying to zone out the Scylla with the 1. She doesn't really want to come in on this. Gonna try to grab the Ganesh, but he is once again gonna hit me with the silence. But now that his silence is down, I can't actually move myself in here. Scylla's gonna have to use her ultimate for the CC immunity. I'm gonna throw down the ultimate as kind of a little bit of a zoning tool. But between the Scylla ult, the Chalk ult, the Oleron ult, I don't even know what ult these are at the end. I should probably die here, but we actually get a nice Thor rotation that's gonna let me live. Only reason I live right there is because how much of that power reduction that we get on the enemy team with our ultimate, not to mention a good Oleron ult on top of that. Gonna go right into a sovereignty this game, really close to being able to level up the sovereignty. So I'm actually gonna sell my 1 regular ward, and then I am going to finish off that sovereignty so I can head back to the boys. Anti-heal would be okay this game to have. They've got the Chalk, which is a little bit annoying. They've got the Shiva, so I may end up getting a Pestilence this game. It's a generally good magical defense item anyway, and it looks like we might need me to get a little bit of aura. Hopefully the team grabs a Divine or a Brawlers or something a little bit more efficient, but I should probably end up getting a Pestilence in order to also be providing some anti-heal for the team. Now I'm going to pick up this Scylla, and I'm going to throw him away from my Oleron, so that way he can't follow it with any more damage on him. And I'm also going to start dashing at this Ganesh. Let him know that I'm not messing around anymore, that I got the Thebes, and that I got the Sovereignty online. I'm a lot tankier than I just was a moment ago. After we level up that 1, I'm going to start leveling up my 3, because that 3 is going to increase that movement speed and the damage that we get from it, and then leveling the 2 last. I don't know if I ever finished that up earlier. So that's 4, 1, 3, 2 on that Atlas level order. Scylla B's are down now, which means I can kind of just go grab her whenever I want. I'm going to call for the gank right lane, and I'm going to start making my way over here. All of these are going to be good targets. I'm going to start dashing right in towards the Shiva. He is CC immune when he is using that. Going to throw down my 1 and kind of zone him out from the Shiva right now, so they're not near him at all. His dance is about to run out, so I'm going to try to grab him, throwing down the ultimate on top. Try to use the proc damage, but wow. We just got absolutely wrecked. It looks like that is a massive Shiva, and our Oleron didn't rotate with us. That was really a bummer. No reason for us to lose that fight right there. That was actually a pretty easy little engagement for us. Really just got chalked out of nowhere. That's a chalk jungle, eh? That is a full power chalk jungle. Yeah, no, that fight should have gone way better for us. We should have been able to kind of just put down the Shiva without too many problems right now. They got zoned out really hard, so we had a nice 3v1 for a couple of seconds, and it just took us way too long in order to get our actual damage numbers out right there. Now they're in the kind of mid stage of the game. We got to make sure we're getting those sentry wards out whenever we can. Gonna put a deep ward over here out on the left-hand side.
No coward will escape my sight.
That way we can see if they're gonna be going over towards that Gold Fury, and also a little bit of an in-depth mechanic there. You can see that if you have the Atlas passive built up, you can actually smash a ward for 2 times. 2 times ward damage on 1 auto, which is nice. Now, Atlas Ultimate is not a full global, but it is a partial global. So, like, if I were to ulti from, like, the Gold Fury pit, I could get it over into the duo lane and potentially help out my Hachi if he needed it. Gonna throw down the 1, hit up with a little follow-up on the 2. That way I grab the pulp, trying to continue to chase down on the Chiron. But it looks like he's going to be able to get himself out of that one. We do have the chalk rotating over, so I'm going to ping on that. Maybe we can go back here and try to kill him. Scylla is also going to be rotating her way over, trying to get back here to that chalk. But man, that chalk is doing so much damage right now. Slow him down with the 1 a little bit, but there is a Scylla coming. Chalk's just going to dash away from our combo, and he's not going to struggle with that one at all. I heard the Oleron ult come out, but this is a level 16 chalk jungle. Gonna throw down the ulti, throw down a shell, just as much damage reduction as I can to launch out my ult towards the enemy team. He lived for quite a bit on the Oleron, but this is not a Oleron mid lane meta right now, let me tell you. This is a big, beefy, power, big ol' flat pen style meta. Not really a life-stealy, Oleron-y, auto-attacky type of meta. There's a lot of people coming left lane to try to let Dahachi know that he's going to have a real bad time over there. For my second active this game, I'm going to take a look at our build. We do have a Brawler's B6, so that's good. I'm working on the Pestilent. We've got a Shadow Seal, which is kind of a weird option, honestly, that early on the Hachi. I'm going to grab us about the Frenzy. It looks like we are going to be lacking in the damage department kind of all game long. We're down quite a few levels in the DPS rolls, so I'm going to try to bump up our damage with the Belt of Frenzy. And hopefully that will help us out enough. My Oleron's getting caught out in the mid lane again. I'm going to try to run over straight to him. See if I can just yoink some people off of him. Slow him down. Go for the body blocks. Just anything that I can do to try to keep him alive. Good Thor ulti over in the mid lane to try to zone him out, getting rid of this quick ward. Hopefully he's got a hammer to get himself out as well. Maybe I can pick up a little Scylla here. Probably not with the Ganesh. Once again, you can see why the Ganesh being able to interrupt is such a big deal. Got my ulti out though. I'm gonna throw that down on them. And we didn't lose that team fight, which is really the best that we can hope for right now, and then we can get another sentry ward at top left. So our goal on Atlas with this particular team comp is we're probably going to be starting off as the initiation and then peeling into the backline as the fight goes. So we've got Thor and a Gilgamesh. Thor and Gilgamesh both have pretty decent initiation capabilities. but it's probably going to be me that's going to be the one responsible for actually starting off the team fight. And then after I start the team fight, I'm going to have to peel back, help my Oleron, help my Hachi to live through this. Best case scenario, I could actually be in the back line the entire time, just peeling from start to finish.
Be right back. Be careful left.
But I've got a feeling I'm gonna be the one kind of in charge of starting off these fights, and I'm just gonna have to peel it back. And how about my Oleron, who looks like he's gonna be my kind of main target right now to try to help keep alive. Oleron, if we can get him to the ultra late game, will be nasty because he will still be an Oleron, but it is gonna take us a hot minute to get there. We know that they've got a sentry ward up at top left, because that is where we had put ours earlier, and it's gone. I'm just gonna get the Ganesh silence out of the way.
Your right tower is under attack.
I'm gonna have to dash away as well because the chalk is coming in. At this point, just trying to bait out some of the Ganesh silence because I know he's just gonna use it every single time that I go to use my 2.
Stamped out of existence.
Because it takes a hot minute to go off. She doesn't really have any abilities up, so I don't actually need to be that worried right now. If a third competitor were to enter the ring, then I would need to be nervous right now about that, but I am very tanky at this stage of the game. Ganesh silence, I am gonna pick him up, kind of throw him backward, try to bring him out of position a little bit, pop that belt of frenzy and the shell for our team. Ulti comes out. Gotta pull back that one, try to throw down a little bit of a tremor here onto my chalk, also give some bonus movement speed out for my Hachi. They are taking some decent damage. I'm gonna grab the Shiva, see if I can't yoink him back, give him another slow. But just not enough damage, not enough burst is gonna be able to come out for us right now. So I'm gonna call for the be careful. I'm gonna start backing it up, and I'm also gonna start working on my relic dagger so I can get these actives up even more often. Our big goal right now as a team is just getting XP to our carries. That's really all that matters right now. We need our Hachi and our Oleron in particular to get XP. You can see they've got a level 20 solo. They've got a level 20 jungler. We just need to get more farm going in our mid lane and in our duo lane department. I don't really want to take the farm from them. Sounds like they're over on these Oreos. They are. Try to stop them from getting these. I want to make sure that I'm trying to get myself as much support as much XP as I can on the support, but also like my mid laner is just falling so far behind. I need to make sure that he can get up there towards that level 20 because he's going to be one of our late game win conditions on that Oleron. That belt of frenzy proc on him and Hachi, they're both going to need to do a bunch of damage at the end of this one if we're going to want to take it away. Still very possible. We're only down 3k right now. The kills are pretty ugly, but the actual gold itself isn't bad at all. 3k is actually really even at the 22 minute marker. The bigger difference right now is just generally XP. Ganesh has got 3 levels on me. They've got a level over in, they got 2 levels in the jungle. They got a level in mid. So that XP is going to be more of a problem right now than anything else. As much as I want to back up here, I got to kind of stick around because they've once again all got vision around the Gold Fury. We do need to do a better job as a team. You can see they are crushing us. Absolutely crushing us in the vision department. They kind of have been all game long. I'm gonna call enemy missing. I'm gonna start dashing over to the left. They're gonna immediately know that I'm coming this way. Looks like Hachi and Thor are both backing. So I'm gonna have to stick around over by the Gold Fury-ish to make sure that they don't just come over and start this. Chirion's over in left, Scylla's over in mid, so I should be fine to go get myself a little bit of farm. group all these creeps up. Bada bing, bada boom. Atlas, not too bad at clearing the wave by himself. Not great at clearing the jungle by himself, but as far as waves go, between the AoE auto, between the fact that he can just get it all grouped up, it's not too shabby, and you can get a couple levels of XP like that. Thor ulted in the mid lane right onto Scylla. She presumably used a bees or something. Trying to get over to my Oleron in time to give him a shout, but I'm not going to be able to make it. I will be able to make it and get some pressure on the Ganesh. Going to throw down that ultimate right on top of the Scylla. Yeet my ultimate over towards the Chiron, who dashes away, and now I need to look to peel into the back line. In this case, because my Oleron is already dead, that is mostly just me looking at my Hachi. Gonna try to grab, hold him still, bring him right back towards my Hachi. I am running low on mana, so I can go for a little bit of a slow right here, and I can also tank this tower. But I am gonna call for the be careful, and then I'm gonna start backing up because I need to back up, get some wards out, and we need to get ready for the next objective. But I can get myself a relic dagger, and I'm actually gonna rank up this belt of frenzy first. So I think that extra auto attack speed for the Oleron and the Hachi, if I manage to be with both of them in a team fight, could be a big game changer. Shell link for my Hachi, trying to yoink the Shiva. Unfortunately, Shiva gets his ultimate off, which is 6 seconds of CC immunity.
Retreat.
Shiva's 3, also CC immune as well. Shiva has about, I guess if you were to stay in the 3, somewhere near like 10 seconds of CC immunity in his kit or something. In fact, you could probably even 3 stay in the CC immunity, ulti, and if you had full CDR, by the time you came back out of it, your 3 is going to be close to being back up. If you got like a Genji's proc or something, in which case you might be able to go ahead and use your 3 again, get like 14 seconds of CC immunity. It did end up getting the Gold Fury. Quite literally nothing that we can do about that, unfortunately. Which means now the vision over here, a little bit less important, so we can start to have some vision battles over by the Fire Giant as we all get set up for some Fire Giant action. They've still got a lead about 5k, but it's the 26-minute marker. It's actually a pretty long game. Still not the end of the world, but we gotta get our carriers up to level 20. Gotta get them there. They're over here by the Pyromancer. Gonna try to get some vision for my team. I see Chalk in the back line, so I'm gonna run back in. I'm gonna throw him down a little slow. I'm gonna grab him. He has to teleport back in. A little bit of a 3 on my team for the movement speed in the back line. We are gonna grab that pick. Gonna try to grab him, slow him down, throw down the ulti right onto 3. They're all gonna get the debuff on them. Then I'm gonna launch it out. Now all 4 of them have the debuff on them. Then I'm gonna have to use my dash. Oh no, I'm gonna pop the damage buff right here, even though we're mostly running away just for the opportunity if they do decide to turn around. But we got 3-man Scylla root crippled. That is just bad luck right there. An unfortunate spot. Then we grab ourselves a compassion. I'm gonna finish up with my belt of the Berserker, and next up on my to-do list is gonna be ranking up that shell into the fortifying shell. Now with this particular build, we got a whole lot of auras. We got anti-heal auras. We got defensive auras at the wazoo. And honestly, we've got a bunch of magical defense right now because we ended up going that pestilence in our last item. We can grab some more physical defense. But Lord knows you need to have a lot of magical defense when you are playing against a Scylla. You don't want to be the support that gives her the ultimate reset off of her damage, and then they kill all of your hunters and your mages. You don't want that. You know you don't want that. They do have 3 people in the middle, and their Scylla's actually kind of lowish, so I would love to be able to bait my body here. They've got 4 people. I'm going to throw down my 1. I'm going to use my 2 to pull them all back kind of away from me. They are investing a lot of resources right now. Going to hit them with a bit of a tremble. Looks like Scylla had to back up. That'd be a great pick right there onto the Chalk. Slow him down. Throw down the ultimate for my team. I'm going to lock that over at Scylla. Not going to be able to get the kill off of it. but I need to make sure I'm peeling in the back line. Belt the frenzy for the boys. Gonna try to grab the Shiva and send him back. Give him a little bit of a movement speed buff right here as we continue to run a Shiva with all the stupid CC immunity. There, we're gonna be able to slow them down. And now I'm gonna call for the attack Fire Giant. Even though I'm pretty low, all they have up is a Chiron and a Ganesh. We also have the Sentry Ward over on it, so I can put down a bit of a deeper Sentry Ward. I can start tanking it, and I should be plenty fine. And because we do have the double auto attackers with the Oleron and Hachi, this is actually something that we should be really good at. Try to pick up the elephant at the very end. No! They managed to steal the Fire Giant. That's so bad. That's so bad. I don't know if the Chiron got it from over the wall or who ended up getting that, but that's just bad use of a secure. Done for it. What are you gonna do? Luckily, only like the Ganesh, maybe the Ganesh and the Chalk have it, but we absolutely should have gotten that. For my last item this game, they've got the auto attacks with the Chiron, but he's really the only one auto attacking, so I don't really need block stacks that much. As far as crit goes, they've got a little bit of crit on the Chiron, but I don't really need that either. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go into a Jade Emperor's Crown. Jade Emperor's Crown has recently gotten reworked, and it now has some pretty sick stats on it. It's just more of a late game focus item than an early game focus item. And what it's going to give us nowadays is we're going to get 40 power, which is not super relevant for us, but we get 50 physical protection, 300 health, 10% CCR, and then a 10% aura reduction around us in terms of the enemy's physical power. They changed it from amount of flat power to percentage power, so you can see obviously why that is then better at the later stages of the game. Later in the game, people have more power. Later in the game, 10% might be more than the flat power that it gave early, but at the early stages of the game, it's like a couple of power, literally a handful. I'm gonna say be careful. We are in a weird spot right now. We are not grouped as a team at all. Gonna slow them off our Oleron. That is Choco down and Ganesh ult. There's a Scylla off to the side. I'm gonna call for the retreat. I'm gonna give my boys the bonus movement speed here so he can just run away. Kind of using it as a sprint. Continuing to throw my one behind me. Use it for that slow. Gonna give him a shell. Throw down the ultimate, try to yoink them all off him. It's gonna give him like a 4-man yoink here, but it just doesn't matter. Really no reason for us to not currently be grouped. Kind of awkward that it's been taking us so long to get grouped. I'll throw my one, slow him down again. Now, if we can get our Hachi here, this is actually not a horrible fight. I'm gonna pick up the Chalk. I'm actually gonna throw him back towards my team. Looks like I'm gonna kick an F down to that. Gonna pop the Belt of Frenzy as well as the movement speed for the team to get in on this one. Chiron is off to the side. He's going to get slowed down a little bit, but not enough. Chalk is in the backline on my Hachi, but I think my Hachi can just go ahead and take him out. I'm going to wait right over here by the Chalk, go for the yoink on him. Once again, going to get Ganesh silence. Kind of a theme this game. Trying to peel for my Hachi. I'm going to pick up the Shiva. I'm actually going to throw him away from my Hachi, because my Hachi is quite low right now, so I don't want to accidentally kill my own Hachi. So I have to toss him in the opposite direction. Much like when you're playing a Sobek or something, always look at the HP of your teammate to know if you should be throwing somebody towards or away from. Try to get the slow onto the Ganesh. He actually might be too fast here. Still is about to respawn. I will be able to pick up the Ganesh though. Eat him back towards my team. Hopefully he can grab one more pickup and get rid of that much undeserved Fire Giant buff that this Ganesh currently has on him. He's kind of running us around, which is a little bit silly, but we honestly have nothing else to do right now. We can't go do an objective anyway. Our Olowander is respawning the entire time. But it's definitely a little bit awkward, although he's starting to run himself around so much now that if we could grab this kill, it looks like our Gilgamesh actually gave up on this kill. Our Gilgamesh should have kept chasing him, because he actually had lived for such a long time that he had staggered his death timer super long. And if we would have killed him right there, he would have had a 50-second death timer, and then we would have had our Hachi up, and then we would have had a full 40 seconds of fighting a 5v4. That actually went in full circle, and that would have been really good for us again. But Gilgamesh, unfortunately, just kind of gave up on it. Fire Giant is about to come back up. I've got enough gold to go finish my Jade Emperor's crown, so I am going to grab that and start heading back out towards the Fire Giant.
Be careful.
Once again, gonna call out the be careful. I don't even have the green buff right now, and I've got 4,000 HP, 250 of each protections. I've got 100 HP 5. I am super annoying. 10% CDR with the relic dagger. I'll have 20% with the red buff. You don't get much more tanky or much more annoying. Just gonna go immediately for this grab on the Chalk. Believe it or not, gonna get interrupted by a Ganesh silence and then a Ganesh dash. Chalk in the back line, gotta pop the shell for my Hachi. And a good Thor ball as well, gonna help him get out of this one. Gilgamesh kind of in by himself, so I've gotta throw down the ulti to kind of zone out the back line. Gonna throw down the ulti back towards my Oleron to try to get him out of this. I'm afraid about the Scylla over the wall on this one, as I probably should be. See if I can't grab her with a 1. No, but I'll be able to get the Chiron. Give that bonus damage out for the Hachi as well as the bonus movement speed. Hopefully we can chase down this Chiron and grab the kill. Scylla goes to use her ult. Once again, I'm back and trying to peel. That's going to be a really good ult there from Thor. Going to grab this Shiva. Bonus movement speed out for the team again. Going to chase in towards the Chuck with my Gilga. Holy cow, we're just on operation. Keep our back line alive right now. If we can kill this Chalk, that would be huge. He unfortunately kicks him away. I'm going to start up the Fire Giant. I'm going to call for the attack Fire Giant, and I'm going to get rid of this ward. The Chalk was still around and at 1 HP, and so help me if he steals that Fire Giant, because Gilga kicked him away. There we go. Now what we need to do is we need to kill this Chalk. We get a little bit lucky right there, honestly, that the Chalk didn't come in and steal that after all that. Now this time, we actually don't need to chase the Ganesh. We can just back up and spend our gold. Grab ourselves a little sentry ward as well as a potion of power.
You will not flee.
Everybody is going for tier 2s right now. That is fine. They're gonna have 3 people up. We don't have our Hachi with us. If they get this Ganesh kill, once again, this has been such a long time. That's a great staggered delay. So exactly like what we were trying to go for last time. Now we've got Ganesh dead for 60. So now we've actually got ourselves a 4v3 up here. I'm gonna try to shove myself into this midway. We've got the ulti from Oleron. I'm gonna start tanking this tower, so when my Thor lands, he doesn't actually have to tank anything. I'm an absolute moron, and I pulled the Scylla out of the Thor combo. That is 100% my fault. But hopefully we are gonna get the Phoenix off of this anyway. I'm gonna call for attack right lane. I kept my Belt to Frenzy up, so that way I can actually Belt to Frenzy our Oleron, and they should be able to burn this down immediately. And now I call for the retreat. We back it up. We go do the Gold Fury. We go get some Oni fires coming out. And then we can shove up left lane. So what happened right there was I went into the Phoenix to start tanking it before the Thor would land. I heard Thor go in the air. I knew he was about to land, right? That play was correct. But then I instinctually went for my pull on the Scylla, which pulled the Scylla out of the Thor hammer combo, and she didn't have any beads. 100% she would have died if I didn't do that, so that was my bad. What I should have done there was nothing.
Brace yourself.
Still ended up working out okay, but also, you know, another kill's better. One of the few times I should have not used my pull on Atlas. Now they had some people
Gank left lane.
over in left lane.
On my
They've actually got 2 people here, 3 people here. We don't have our team here yet. They don't know that I'm alone, so they're gonna start backing this one up. We've got Fire Onis going down the mid lane. We got Fire Onis going down the solo lane. We've got Enhanced Fire Giant now for a full 90 seconds. And we should be able to run it down in this duo and at the least get ourselves another Phoenix. Waiting patiently for the boys. Start tanking the tower until the creeps can get in range. There we go. And I'm going to immediately call for the attack left lane. I'm dashing in. I see that there's a couple people over on the other side. I'm going to throw my one to try to zone them out, as well as my ultimate. So they are super discouraged from coming in this direction. Throw down my ultimate, throw down my shell, throw down my belt of frenzy for the bonus damage on my Oleron. I'm going to continue to call for the attack. I'm going to dash in toward the back line. I don't even need to peel anymore from my boys. They've got it all figured out. I'm going to try to throw this chalk away from its fountain. And now we should be able to go ahead and put this game away. So early game, we struggled a little bit because of our team composition. We had a very late game team composition. Most Smite games do not go this long. This is actually a crazy long game of Smite. This is actually my first game that was 30 minutes, actually all day. And it almost went 40 minutes. So that kind of tells you how long the average game of Smite goes. But because the game did end up going over 30 minutes, it meant that our auto attack composition with the Oleron, the Hachi ended up turning online. We got to buff them up with our Belt of Frenzy that we had kept all game in order to give them that auto attack damage that really turned up in the late stages of the game with the nice help of some frontline from that Gilgamesh guy. So on Atlas, you're basically picking up people, you're putting on timeout, throw them towards your teammates. Don't kill your teammates. If you wouldn't pluck a god towards your teammate with a Sobek, then don't throw him towards your teammate with the Atlas 2. Exact same ability in terms of whether you want to throw him away to your team or towards your team. So just keep that in mind, you guys. And of course, we had over 4k HP without even a green buff on us with that particular build. 20% CDR at the end with the Relic Dagger and that red buff. This has been your Season 9 Atlas Guide. Don't forget, of course, to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss another video, and ring that bell for notifications. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a Twitchin' day, y'all.